Good afternoon, everybody. I want to welcome you back to Becoming Her, Authentic Entrepreneurs Spotlight Series inside of Boss Ladies Creating Empires. I created this intentionally for International Women's Day because I feel visibility matters, not the curated highlight reel, not the perfect vision, but the real evolution of a woman building something meaningful. Every woman that you're going to meet throughout this series, they've all grown, they've had doubt, expansion, even reinvention. And today we continue that conversation. And today I get the joy of speaking with Nancy Garfinkel. So let's step into becoming her. Nancy, how are you?
Good. Hi, Michelle. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. I'm glad to have you. So let me ask you, who were you before you stepped into your business and what shifted?
So, just about 3 years ago, I was in a senior leadership position in healthcare, and I have been
Hmm.
a leader in healthcare for over 30 years, running large teams, managing multi-million dollar budgets, and implementing all sorts of projects in the ambulatory health arena. Really, it's still something to this day that I am passionate about. But I decided it was time to step out on my own. I didn't like where I was living.
Hmm.
I was living in Delaware. It wasn't for me. Different. And so when I felt that, oh no, I when I felt that body of work was completed, I moved on. I moved on and decided that after all those years, I was going to bet on myself.
Well, I love that. Yes. And what belief did you have to release to become the woman you are today?
So I'm someone who, throughout my career, was the research nerd. Okay, I could go down a rabbit hole
Me
faster
too.
than you can say Alice in Wonderland. Okay, especially once with the internet and everything. So I was always researching things
Hmm.
and um, wanting that last piece of information. But in an organization, things are contained and things have solid deadlines. When you work for yourself, it's very different. And when you're creating your own business, particularly as a solopreneur, I think the biggest thing I had to get over, what was really two things. I had to get over
Hmm.
the concept of ready, right? Are you ever really ready? The answer is no. The answer is just do it messy. Unlike healthcare, we are not dealing with life and death. So what's the worst thing that could happen? You,
Hmm.
I mean, maybe have to backpedal a little, but just
Hmm.
I'm all about execution. Okay. Throughout my career, I had a couple of key phrases that kept me and my teams moving.
Hmm.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome. Nothing should
Yes.
stop you, right? I mean, in healthcare operations, a lot of people that I worked with were considered themselves chaos coordinators. I
Hmm.
never really liked that term, although I was always putting out fires. So you do things because you're ready, right? Is your
Right.
team ever ready to change something completely in the office? No, I got to pull the band off at some point. So I had to let go of ready. And as I became an entrepreneur, I started out in real estate
Hmm.
investing. And that is very vast. So if you don't
Yes, yes, it
narrow in and
is.
find a niche, much like coaching, right? If you don't narrow in
Yes,
and find a niche, you're all over the place. And I found myself wanting to know everything about every single different niche and wanting more courses and more courses. And
yes,
more
I agree.
information isn't always the answer. In fact,
Hmm.
I'd suffice it to say that we're all pretty intelligent women. And once you have a thorough understanding of whatever it is you want to do, you don't need another course. You don't need another spreadsheet. You need to take what you have and make it work. And you need
Right.
to stand by your decisions, right? Because
100%.
the momentum comes by protecting your decision. You make a decision and you don't change it 3 days down the road. And I think as an entrepreneur, that's very hard. You have
Yeah,
your
that
goal,
is.
but if you're like me, as I work, ideas are always popping.
Me too.
And so I I have something I call the parking lot, okay? And when a new idea comes and I need to stay focused, I stick it on the parking lot so
Hmm.
that I can keep the momentum on what I am actually working on because you can't work on 20 goals at once, right?
No, you can't.
If you focus on 2 or 3 things for 90 days, you get them done. But if you disperse your attention across 20 things, nothing gets done in 6 months. And that's part of where I help women, in terms of protecting the decisions they make and executing them in real time so that they make decisions.
Awesome. What does becoming her mean to you in this season of your life and business?
So, really, as someone who I rose up the corporate ladder kind of quick when I was young,
Hmm.
and I was always very smart. I always acclimated quickly. But I found the further I advanced in my career, and this is going to sound funny, the younger the managers who reported to me got,
Hmm.
the more I got from them. Okay. And so there was a period of time later in my career where I really was like, do I really know what I'm doing? And so I had to remember all of that. And so I think at this point, it's like I said, I bet on myself. It's stepping into the confidence to know that I don't have the safety of that W-2 job, but I'm doing it.
Right.
I've always known I was a strong, competent person.
Yes.
And listen, I loved my career in healthcare, like I
Hmm.
said. Um, and so I think becoming for
Uh-huh.
me means standing in your competence, standing in your
Hmm.
intelligence, your security, your confidence, and owning it so that you can keep going forward.
Hmm.
And it's not fake it till you make it. It's really
Right.
I've earned it. I mean, I've got degrees,
Yes.
I've got certificates, I've
Me
got
too.
awards. A lot of us do at this point. And
Hmm.
you know, it was funny because when I was in real estate and, the first mentorship I took, all I wanted was the plaque that said I had done however many deals. And then I
Hmm.
realized I'm just paying an awful lot of money for someone to give me a plaque. I
True.
don't need that, right? You don't need
Right.
to always stay in that
Hmm.
that ecosystem. So really becoming to me means standing in your strength and your knowledge of what, I coach women now who are smart and
Hmm.
capable, but they have, because they're either solopreneurs, or small business owners, they're in charge, they have trouble standing in their decisions, right?
Hmm.
They have trouble protecting them because either, during not negotiations, but during discussions with the team,
Hmm.
something comes up and you have that flickering doubt.
Right.
Um, one of my favorite things when I was in healthcare was always people would say to me, we tried that already. And my answer to them was usually, okay, but maybe we didn't try to implement it the same way. So we're
Yes.
going to try it again for 90 days and I'm going to revisit it. And if it
Mhm.
doesn't work, what's the worst thing that happens? Now,
Right.
remember, I wasn't in the OR, I wasn't in life or death situations. I ran outpatient practices. So, you know, but even so, even in healthcare, there is that, there's continuous process improvement. So you are always looking at what
Yes,
you're
you are.
doing and trying to make it better. But the key to, protect your decision and really having momentum in your business and moving it forward is saying, I'm making this decision. And it's almost like you have to say, I stand for this.
Yes. Hmm.
When you stand for it, right, and you have confidence in it, you execute it, and it's you don't execute blindly. I mean, obviously you're checking and you have some metrics that you're going to look at and
Yes.
say, is this working? And are you hitting those metrics each week to make sure you're making the progress that you need to make? And then, along the way you might tweak something, but you're not going to say, well,
Definitely. Hmm.
we were going down we were about to take the blue line on the subway, and now
Hmm.
we're going to take the red line. No, you're
Hmm.
going to say, okay, we're on the blue line. Do we need to get off a stop early? And what do we have to fix? And
Right.
those are the things. So,
Hmm.
that is how I truly help business owners and business women in being confident in their decisions and showing them
Hmm.
how to protect the decision. And protecting a decision means a lot of different things, right? It's
Hmm.
establishing your priorities and ordering them right. It's protected time to work on your business versus in your business. When you're look, I'm a solopreneur. I wear every
Yep.
hat in the book. Okay, I
Yeah,
never ever
true.
back
A
there.
lot of us do. Yes.
Right? In healthcare, I always worked in large academic systems or
Hmm.
large systems. So, I mean, I had somebody who got the malpractice from my doctors. I had somebody who did the books and just sent me a stamp. No, I have to do all of that. So, all those things to move my business forward need their dedicated, protected time. I can't just
Right.
say, I'm not going to work on the books because that's like being an ostrich sticking your head in the
A
sand.
100% right.
And so this is what I help women do. I
Hmm.
help them, really figure out what their priorities are,
Hmm.
how to measure their progress, and how to protect their decision and just really keep moving forward.
Yes. Now, Nancy, I'd love for you to share with me who Nancy is, what Nancy does, and who do you serve?
So, as I said, former healthcare leader. I
Hmm.
was a single mom for most of,
Hmm.
my daughter's life. I have a grown daughter. I am a native New Yorker, in case you can't tell from the rather thick Long Island accent I'm told I have. I'm a dog mom,
Aw.
and I came to doing this kind of coaching and consulting
Hmm.
because women in first of all, I saw it my whole career that people,
Hmm.
like I said, chaos coordinators. But then when I started in real estate investing, I saw that women complained a lot. I don't
Hmm.
have time to do this. I
Hmm.
had a partner who used to say, my to do list looks the same every day. I never get anything done. Well, that's because the wrong things were on her to do list.
Hmm.
Some things don't belong on your to do list. They're your priorities. They get calendarized, they
Hmm.
get protected time. Walk the dog, it
Right.
doesn't belong. Walk the dog doesn't belong on the
Hmm.
same to do list as outreach to 10 commercial brokers, right?
Hmm.
10 commercial brokers is a block of time with a measurement. And how did you do? Right? And
Hmm.
then the follow up. Walk the dog is something you have to do when you fit it in between Zoom meetings.
You're right.
So I serve women at all stages of business, whether they're solopreneurs or business owners or even in the corporate world.
Hmm.
And my coaching is one to one, and it is
Hmm.
customized. I have a whole arsenal of tools that I use. And I start out by really understanding what is holding someone back and where they need help. And then we go from there and put together the tools that will fit them the best. So it's not a cookie cutter approach.
Right.
And I find that works best. It's no different than when you have multiple children and you have to, you figure out.
Very true.
I'm one of four kids, and so I know my mother treated us as much as she says the same. We got
Hmm.
treated differently because we were all
Hmm.
very, very different.
Hmm.
Um, and so that's what I think each client deserves, and
Hmm.
why I do one-on-one coaching and not group coaching at the
I love
moment.
that.
Yeah,
Well, I want to thank you for taking time today with me to share your story, your growth, and your becoming. And for the audience out there, if this conversation resonated with you, I encourage you to connect with Nancy, follow her, support her, reach out, build relationships. Her link will be included so you can connect with her um, directly. And at Boss Ladies Creating Empires, we believe spotlight is not ego, it's expansion, it's leadership, it's legacy. And
absolutely.
when
Yes, I
one
think it's
woman is
great.
seen, it gives another woman permission to rise. And
That's
for boss
beautiful.
ladies, thank you. Creating empires, we rise together. And I will see everyone on the next spotlight. Thank you.